hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching our broadcast. Where? Bring up Discord. Alright, we got Discord live with us this morning for our live podcast. And we are here on Open Pagan Church. I really like pulling in the cultural sounds of different cultures around the world, and of course we always put the links to those videos for those performers and those people who broadcast on YouTube. Give them a little thumbs up there. Alright, our topic comes to us today from Clint, one of our members, and it actually really is a good topic for this time of year. Cindy says she's having mic problems. Looks like we got Lee over in chat. Good morning, Lee. We got Clint in Discord, and we got Cindy in Discord, but she's having mic issues. Too many places I could go with that. Cindy not able to talk. So the act of kindness and the ripple that goes with it. Of course, I didn't want to put "that goes with it" in the title. It gets too long. But the acts of kindness and the ripple. Clint, you feel like expounding on this a little bit?
Yeah, a while back, I had a friend of mine having some issues, and I did just a little act of kindness of giving her a crystal, and she has been balanced out and stuff. And when you're going through stores and stuff, you see all these people that are looking down and out and grumpy and mad and everything. The other day, I just said hello to a lady in one of the stores over there in where I work, and her face just lit up. It's like, well, thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's amazing sometimes just opening the door for someone. You know, people today are not used to that. Someone opening the door for them or just smiling at them walking down the road. People are just not used to people being nice, and that's a shame. I know when I walk down the hallways over in our corporate office, I tend to greet everybody with a smile, and I say good morning or good afternoon, how are you? And they're just that instant moment, oh, good morning. Really? People aren't used to being nice anymore. And you know, the ripple, let's talk a little bit about the ripple. You know, we've had conversations where we've studied the chaos theory. You know, the flap of the wing of the butterfly in Florida could cause a tsunami in Japan. Oh, I'm not sure I would go that far with it. But when you look at the cause and effect of everything, there are some times that just an act of kindness, being nice to someone, can ripple down and really, actually, surprisingly, change someone's life. I saw this personally back in the earlier mid-90s when I was going into a quick stop store where one of my exes used to work. And I opened a door for a young man. I just opened the door to the shop. You know, good morning. Opened the door for him. And he stood there and looked at me for just a moment and went in and got his supplies. And he happened to be leaving at the same time I was, which I thought rather interesting timing later on. So I opened the door for him on the way out. I just reached up and pushed the door open and let him go on out. He stopped me on the way out the door and he said, "Thank you." "You're welcome." Yeah. He said the kindness of one person can save someone else's life. And you just saved mine. And he turned around and walked off. Well, then, being hyper aware, I noticed he was carrying a half a gallon of liquid bleach and a bottle of Clorox powder. Now, it doesn't take a whole lot of study of a whole lot of chemistry to realize that those two mixed together is a very dangerous combination. So, it kind of makes you stop and go, oh hell, what was this kid going to do? I mean, what was he going to do with these two chemicals to make him say what he said? So it kind of makes you wonder, those of you that may be watching our live broadcast and those who will be watching the pre-recorded later. As we're, of course, we're in America when we do these broadcasts, and I realize they go all over the world. But in the environment that we're in late 2019, when this video is done, we're in a very tumultuous time. We're divided more than we're united, and that's a shame. Families bickering over crap, instead of coming together as a world organization. Almost, Cindy. Almost can hear you. Instead of coming together as a united system where people hang together for the common goal, the world is divided in such a way where it's only about me, only about my needs, what I want. And with Yule, go ahead.
Like when I go to the doctor's office, can you hear me?
Up just a little more. I've got you up on.
Yeah, continue. I'm playing with it. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Let me turn you up just a little bit. All right, go ahead.
How about now?
There you go.
Okay. Like Clint was saying, I make it a point when I go to my doctor's office, which I have a lot. If an old person is sitting by the door waiting on a ride picked up, I'll stop and say, "Hello, how are you doing today?" And they get the biggest smile on their face.
Yeah, I mean, it takes 3 seconds to smile at someone and say hello.
What's really fun is when you have your window down in the car and they have theirs down, and you have your music kind of not really blasting, and they look over and I just wave at them and they just wave back and they smile so big.
Yeah, people are definitely not used to being waved at on the roads anymore. Of course, I grew up in the country, on country roads. Everybody knew everybody. So it was commonplace, if you're going from one field to the next on a tractor, you wave at people as they go by and they'd wave at you, or you'd be in your vehicle going to town and you'd recognize another vehicle. Even if you didn't, you'd just wave at them as they went by. And it's funny, you would be amazed at some of the looks I get when I'm out cutting the grass here on this 2 acres. And we live kind of by a relatively busy road. It's not a highway by any means, but it's a relatively busy road. And if I'm mowing along out there and somebody comes at me, I'll just wave at them as I go by. And if I'm cutting the ditch or cutting up by the road, if somebody goes to go by, I will stop the mower. I'll shut it off, of course, but I'll stop the mower and let them go by, and then I'll go ahead and cut, because last thing I want to do is throw something into somebody's automobile. I just wave at them as they go by. And when I've stopped, now get this, I've had this happen a couple of times. When I see a car coming, I'll stop. And as they're coming, I'll just wave at them. Well, they do this, they just mash the gas and speed on by, and they tuck down behind the steering wheel. It's like, I didn't want you to stop. I was just waving. Jeez Louise, people. Yeah, Lisa, it doesn't take much to be nice, smile, and talk openly. Yeah, it could very well make the difference in their lives, or, even better, crack a joke. Oh, you want to really freak somebody out? Crack a joke. A lot of people look at you like you fell out of a tree. I probably did fall out of a tree when I was younger. A couple of times. Several times. Yeah, Lee says, people tend to forget common courtesy. One of the best things that we can send out. Yeah. Why is that? Why do we think, and I pretty well know, but why do we think people forget common courtesy? The answer to that... Go ahead.
Because they don't want to ever offend anybody nowadays. You say hi or thank you or anything, everybody kind of gets all uppity.
Well, there is that. Yeah, there is that.
Shoddy upbringing.
Well, shoddy upbringing, okay. But what about people are just simply too busy? I mean, I can't say everybody. Most people are so wrapped up in their own internal chaos. They're kind of like that Alabama song, Rush and Rush and Get Nothing Done. Everybody's in such a big hurry. And sometimes, sadly, I find myself doing somewhat the same thing. In such a big hurry to get to where I need to get and get done what I need to get done. Sometimes I forget the common courtesy of just saying hello. But I think if we can all remember the kindness and that ripple effect. And the interesting part of it is, you hear a lot of people say, pay it forward. If somebody does something nice for me, I do something nice for someone else, and they do something nice for someone else, and so on and so forth. But what about just being good people? What about just being good human beings? Yeah, they get so wrapped up in themselves. They don't even see what's going on with them. Lee says, absolutely. We get so damn busy, we don't even know what's going on in front of our face. But how about if we're just good people? What are some of the things? And let's think on a positive note here, right? We can come up with negative what ifs all day, but let's go on it on a positive ripple, right? Now, if I've got a couple of bucks, which I don't have a whole lot of these days, but if I've got a couple of bucks and there's a panhandler on the side of the road, I'm okay giving them a couple of bucks. And it's not because I want to feel better about myself. It's because I know that something had to happen in a human being's life to cause them to have to be on the side of the road panhandling. Now, in Texas, depending on what county you're in, panhandling is illegal. You can actually get fined or get a ticket for giving money to a panhandler. I get it. I mean, I understand, because you can have, there have been rare cases where carjackings have come from people posing as panhandlers on the side of the road. You pull up, give them a couple of bucks, and they force the door open and steal your car. Well, that's going to happen. I mean, it is what it is. But it really makes people scared to help people. When I was younger, if I saw someone parked on the side of the road changing a flat, I would pull over behind them and get just off of them a little bit and turn on my emergency flashers and ask them if they need help. Wouldn't make a difference, man or woman, whatever. If you pull over nowadays and try to help a woman, you don't know what kind of reception you're going to get because they're scared to death someone's going to attack them. That's kind of a shame, really. But if we do it anyway, you just roll your window down and stick your head out the window. Do you need help? A lot of times they'll say, no, I got it. Okay, I'll just sit here with my emergency flashers on. Maybe somebody will see you and not hit you while you're changing your tire. That's just something I would do. I'm not going to recommend anybody else do it. Shit. Be my luck, somebody would say, well, Don told me just to sit here while you change your tire, and then I got hit, and now I'm going to sue him because he told me what to do. Yeah. But on like I was saying, on the positive side, if we carry that forward, take that minute to hold the door open for someone else, to pull up to a stop sign and someone pulls up at the same time we do, wave them on through the stop sign. Hell, it's not going to take 10 seconds. I've been known to wave people through the stop sign and they'll go, come on. Okay. Hand signals are nice. Not that hand signal, but that one. Thank you. Waving it forward. Blech. Paying it forward doesn't mean that you had to have it paid to you first. The best time to do a natural act of kindness is when you've had a ripping shitty day. Honestly. The best time to do something nice for someone else is when you have had a really bad day. It does something. It does something to the chemicals in your head when you do something nice. Morning, Tasha. But when you're paying things forward, and you're working with that acts of kindness and the ripple, it can ripple through a pond. And yeah, miss you too, girl. Hope you're doing okay out there. It's good to see you. But when you're talking about these acts of kindness and the ripple, some people have said, well, what can I do? I'm homebound. Okay, that's what the internet's for. If you're homebound, if you're stuck at home and can't do anything, and you have the internet, obviously, because you're chatting with people, because you said, well, I can't do anything because I'm homebound. You can do things over the internet just to offer your time to listen to people.
Well, that's Don. That's like I have a group. It's called Energy Friends, and we get on there and we check on each other every day. We say hello. I mean, it's support. It's something that an act of kindness.
Well, yeah, I mean, energy friends? You're going to have to invite me to that group. That sounds like fun.
Okay.
Lee says, speaking about the ripple, he says he's seen a difference in his own neighborhood since he's moved there. Um, no one even spoke to their neighbors. Now we get together for nearly any reason we can think of. Absolutely. Sometimes all you need is that one or two people or one family, whatever, to come into a neighborhood and say, hey, you've generally got three neighbors within eyesight. You've got one to the right, one to the left, one across from you. Let's get together and barbecue. Some neighborhoods have little parks. Let's get together and meet at the park and just have a barbecue and just sit around and chat. You know? You'd be amazed at what just knocking on someone's door going, hey, I just moved into the neighborhood. I just wanted to get to know my neighbors. Tasha says, when I'm pissed, I smile at people. Just a little thing works wonders. you know, Tasha kind of reminded me of one of my favorite sayings. Smile at people, it keeps them guessing. A lot of times when people at work are being mean, cruel, being themselves, I just smile at them. All right, whatever you think you need to do, have at it. Turn and walk off. Sometimes it's fun to see the look on their faces. Yeah, I put my glasses down so I can see what's going on over here. Sharing inspirational music can change their attitudes. Yep. That's the purpose of a smile. Absolutely. So, what? And I'd like to hear from Discord and the live chat. What are some of the things you can do? I mean, I know Lee was talking about, have a get together, have a, gathering in your neighborhood. Tasha was talking about smiling at people. What are some of the things that can be done that you think can be done to cause that forward ripple?
I've got one. When we go to the restaurant, like Sonic drive-through, I do a pay forward every once in a while. It makes people happy. I know that. Hey, Dave, welcome.
All right, so pay it forward. Every once in a while, you see these YouTube videos where somebody will follow someone through the drive-through, and when it comes up their turn to pull up, they'll say, "I'm paying for the person in front of me." Just a simple act of kindness, you know. I'm paying for the person in front of me's order. And the speaker will be like, "What?" "Yes, I'm paying for the person in front of me order." "Okay." "But hey, Dave, welcome back, dude. Glad to see you up and around." So what's some of the things you do to pay it forward? Let's see what we got here. What do y'all think? Not to necessarily, I'm sorry, not necessarily pay it forward, but to start the ripple. Not do something for someone else just because somebody did something nice for you, but to do something for someone else just because you are who you are. What do you think?
I would say teach somebody else how to drive, like have a very loud horn, you know, and that's kindness to teach someone else how to drive correctly. I'm kidding.
Dave, gotta leave it to you, brother.
Well, yesterday when me and Tammy were in the store, lady was in a wheelchair and she wanted something off the top shelf. She couldn't stand up real good, so I reached up there and grabbed it. She said, "Thank you." And then I looked up behind me, and a young gentleman was doing the same thing for another lady because he saw what I did. And he said, "Thank you for showing me what to do."
And it really almost saddens you to think. I mean, it makes you happy that someone else saw you do something and they thought, they decided to do the same thing. But it almost saddens you to wonder, it took me doing it for someone, or it took you doing it for someone, to show someone else how to do it, for them to do it. I would think common sense would have to be common somewhere, wouldn't it? I mean, sometimes I'm called a dreamer, but I'd like to think. Okay.
But like you said, everybody's in a hurry in the world. They don't have time to do stuff.
Yeah. Rush and get nothing done.
And the respect is not there anymore for elders or even young kids. That's biggest problem nowadays.
Yeah, no, it's not. Respect is a big thing. Hell, I'll be 58 years old in January, and I still respect my elders. My parents are in their mid to late 70s, and I still speak to them with respect. But then I think, and we always hit on the way we were raised, and that's a good platform. It really is. But I'm gonna step on out here and say something on this one. When do we stop blaming our raising? I mean, at what age does an individual start taking responsibility for their own actions and stop blaming the way they were raised. It's kind of a paradox of a question, isn't it?
True, but that's like Sabrina, my youngest. She still, I brought her up to respect the elders, respect the older people. I mean, and she still does it to this day. And she still goes out. I talked to her the other day about something. She popped up, Mom, you wouldn't believe over here in Italy. These people are extremely friendly.
Yeah, yeah, and in other cultures and other countries, um, it's kind of amazing the, especially some of the older ancient cultures that have not been, what, westernized, I guess you could say. I know the several times that I've been over to the UK, I've been impressed with the smile and the greeting of most of the counter people when you go into a business. Most of them still say yes and please and thank you. I have found that refreshing. Lee says he would say when they're mature enough to understand right from wrong. Well, maturity, the assumption or the perception of maturity falls into the assumption or the perception of one's ability to facilitate morality and have morals, I think. But barring, and I want to make sure I put this out there so I don't get taken off at the head. Barring extreme circumstances of a childhood, barring extreme circumstances of extreme abuse and constant continuous ridicule, rape, abuse of all kinds and what have you as a child, there comes a point where the young adult has to decide or make a decision that that's not right. Stealing from people is not right. Beating people, robbing, treating people, just overall treating people badly. There comes a point where someone has to make the decision to stop that momentum. Now, granted, there are those who are mentally off that may not have that ability to make that distinction. But people, overall, have to be able to find that balance of kindness. And you know, kindness comes from the heart. It just comes from being who you are. You know, I've had a boatload of young people come to us through the years ever since we formed the House of Pagans and then later opened Pagan Church. We've had a boatload of kids that have come through that really had a rough go of it. And they've looked me square in the face and they're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to undo or change what's been done to me that makes me hate people. And you know, I always tell them, you already started. What do you mean? You're sitting here. You're talking to me about it. We're sitting here, we're communicating, you're asking, you're admitting the number one issue is I don't know where to start. It starts with a simple smile and a hello and a open the door for somebody. There you go. Dave says, I have circulation now. Yeah, I'll bet you do. After that roto-rooter you went through, buddy. We are really glad you came out okay, though. But it's learning to say hello that starts the ripple, I think. It's learning to, and my last point in the description, the ripple effect of those can go a long way. And I end it with saying, though in some cases, well, it says they, it should have said that. Sorry, that's a typo. In some cases, that can be dangerous. Why? Well, we mentioned it earlier. Hitchhiking, giving a hitchhiker a ride, it can have deadly consequences. Rolling your window down to give a panhandler money can, in some cases, have deadly consequences.
Well, that's like there's a homeless people underneath the bridge up here in Beaumont. The other day, it was going to be cold weather. A friend of ours took a bunch of blankets to him. When he put that on Facebook, everybody chimed in like, hey, can I help?
Yes, that's exactly the point. Lee says he believes that we should teach by example. Yeah, take people under our wings and teach them. And that's what the older, I believe, and I'm going to use it because we're pagan, all right? That's what the older pagan population should do. We should offer the arm. Well, part of my arm is missing. I gotta love green screen, man. Offer them an arm. You know, put an arm on their shoulder and say, come on, let me show you what it's about. When you meet someone, oh crap, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. And it's a personal thing. Nobody wants to shake hands anymore. Everybody wants to come up and go, wow, man, yeah, nice to meet you. No, okay, I get it. You're a germaphobe. That's all right. I got it. I do. But me, when I meet someone, I want to shake that hand. I'm weird. I want to feel that energy. I want to shake that hand, and I want to look you in the eye.
That's not weird. I mean, some people in the old days used to shake hands and they could tell right off the bat how the person is by the handshake.
But it's weird today in 2019, and it's been weird for the last 8 or 10 years that I know of. People don't shake hands. They fist bump. Boom, boom.
Okay, I agree.
I mean, has anybody seen the meme where a guy walks up and goes to fist bump somebody and they grab their hands, they go ring, 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 ring. They I don't know, it's some kind of shifting thing where they grab their fist and treat it like a shifter knob.
Nope.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
Nope.
Oh my God. Somebody YouTube search the fist bump shifter, I think it is. Oh hell, now I gotta do it. Hey, we gotta have a little fun in the channel, right? Fist bump. No. Oh no. No. Okay. Fist bump shifter. What? Really? Alright, somebody else is going to have to find it. I'll sit here for hours trying to find the fist bump shifter. Anyway, it's funny as hell. It's on TikTok. I can tell you that because I've seen it. And yeah, Open Pagan Church is on TikTok. Sharing, it's like Lee said right there. Sharing good energy could help others. So what have we got? All right, we have my watch telling me I need to get up and move around. Smart ass watch. So what do we got? Well, we have cause and effect. If we give good cause, most of the time we're going to have positive effects. We have teaching by example, taking people under our wings, showing them. Yep. We have the old monkey see, monkey do, like Clint in the grocery store, pulling something down for someone in a wheelchair. Monkey see, monkey do type thing. We have just generally being nice to people, I think. And it's really not that difficult being nice, smiling. Now the hard part, and I will say this in all honesty, smiling through adversity, finding something to smile about in an absolutely nasty, crappy day. Boy, I cleaned that up, didn't I? Sometimes that's the hardest thing in the world to do. Cindy says, found it. Cindy, post it. Post it in chat so people know where it's at. It's funny. Lee says, had another thing we did to change the neighborhood. We shared food. Made some of our neighbors tear up. Yeah, that's amazing. And you gotta understand, I've only lived in 2, maybe 3 neighborhoods. I've always lived in the country. I always grew up in the country. The quote country neighborhood we live in now is on a road with several other people, and I've met 2 or 3 of the neighbors around here. They don't talk, they don't communicate, they don't do anything for each other. Kind of freaky. So yeah, I mean, when you learn about them and you learn what their favorite meals are, make them something. Take it over to them. Oh, and by the way, find out if they have any food allergies. I know every time we throw a birthday party or something here for one of the kids, my wife always reaches out and says, What kind of food allergies do you have? 20 or 30 years ago, man, that wasn't a thing. Now everybody's allergic to everything. Of course, chemicals in our food, boy, that's another topic for a discussion. So yeah, let's kind of draw to a close here. We're 15 minutes past the hour. And I believe, go ahead.
Okay. I have a challenge for everybody.
Uh-oh.
When you go out into the society, everybody do something for someone, no matter how small it is. And next week we can post on what everybody did.
I like that. Clint, you got anything else you want to add, bro?
No, just when you're out, just do one small thing. Like we said, smile at somebody, say hi, open a door, or even close the door for someone. Because the other day it was windy so bad down here. Lady was struggling to close the door because she opened the wrong one and the wind was catching it. And so I helped close it.
Dave, I see you still in Discord. Anything you want to add, sir? Dave may have went to sleep. All right, how about over in chat before we close? Before we close for the day and get ready for Live with the Shaman that comes up at 11 a.m. Central Time. Who else in the chat can give words of wisdom to just do simple acts of kindness to start that forward ripple of coming through? Anybody? Well, I will say this. check out the stick shift fist bump in the chat link that Cindy was nice enough to post. It's funny as hell. I keep waiting on the right person to try it on that wants to fist bump rather than shake hands, and I just almost can't wait to test it. Send a good song out to someone on Facebook. Tag somebody in a nice post on Facebook. There you go. Well, folks, as we come into Yule for 2019, the day of this video is December 8th. Next weekend I will be doing a broadcast on Yule, its history, where it come from, what it is. But let's think. Acts of kindness in the ripple, paying it forward, just being nice to people. It is absolutely amazing. The feeling of just being nice to someone. I'm not talking about brown nosing, I'm not talking about blowing smoke up their ass, but genuinely being nice. Think about that. I'm going to send you all off to have a wonderful day. I hope you have a good week upcoming. And those of you that are setting out to travel over the holidays, absolutely be safe out there, folks. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time here on Open Paganism.